Hello and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Tom Wilson. Coming up, a large cannabis farm has been found in the city centre. The University of Winchester names this year's honorary doctorates. And finally, there's an explosive start to the Christmas season. What used to be one of Winchester's busiest nightclubs has been found to be a large cannabis factory. Police confirmed that they raided the former nightclub Vodka to find rows of the Class B drug. Oshan Davis takes us through the latest.
This was the moment a large cannabis factory was uncovered in Winchester city centre this week. A 54-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of producing the Class B drug. Inspector Matt Kirby from the Winchester District explains they take drug-related harm very seriously and they will continue to investigate what they have found to bring those responsible to justice and keep the public safe. Police remain at the scene on Upper Brook Street where the exact size of this cannabis farm will be determined. The plants will later be seized and destroyed. Oshan Davis, Winchester News Online.
Hampshire authorities are working to tackle the root causes of knife crime within the younger generation. Operation Sceptre aims for a safer environment and to reduce the impacts of violent crimes. But what is Operation Sceptre and what are the police doing to help? Alexandra Stapleton reports.
Over the years, violent crimes associated with sharp knives or sharp instruments have worsened in the UK, with most of these crimes occurring among young people. These crimes are a mix of either violent assaults or robberies, which has been rising, and the ages of those committing the crimes have been getting disturbingly lower. A national week of action called Operation Sceptre was started, which is a campaign that aims to target knife crime and violence with increased police patrols, knife sweeps, engagement sessions and educating businesses. The idea of early intervention to prevent young people from getting involved in violent crime. Allowing young people the chance to surrender their knives and sharp weapons into the allocated surrender bins found in or near police stations. Hampshire Police posted on their Facebook page about there being a new knife surrender bin at the front of their office on Tower Street in Winchester, which was said to remain there until Sunday the 19th of November. In Hampshire, there were lots of surrender bins located in different areas and police stations, which are Winchester, Basingstoke, Aldershot, Totland and Havant, to name a few of the many. They also have stated that these bins will be available until the 18th of December 2023. Due to the heightened amounts of violence due to knife crime, I found that more people feel unsafe in public than feeling safe. Most people haven't heard of Operation Sceptre, and more people believe that knife crime is gang-related. The amount of people arrested or sent to hospital due to knife crime is immense, which is one of the reasons why it's so important for people to understand the dangers that come with using knives or getting involved in the dangerous act.
If you're in public and you see any strange or suspicious activity, please report to your local police station via phone or going to the station, as you could be saving a life. This is Alexandra Stapleton, WINOL News Online.
Now, I'm sure we've all had enough of train strikes, but the Office of National Statistics claimed that the average pay for train and tram drivers is just under £59,000. If that's the case, then why are they going on strike for the 15th time in 18 months? Our travel correspondent Jamie O'Sullivan has more.
ASLEF union members will stage a rolling programme of walkouts between Saturday 2nd December and Friday the 8th of December, with different train companies being affected on different days. The drivers will refuse to work any overtime from Friday the 1st of December to Saturday the 9th as part of this industrial action.
I had quite a few things planned to do over the month of December with my family and my partner, but unfortunately due to the train strikes, almost all of those things now are near impossible for me to do because I just can't get to the places that I need to get to. It's not just me, it's thousands and hundreds of thousands of other people that are in the same boat, in the same predicament, needing to get to places and they can't because trains are cancelled left, right and centre.
The dates that will affect us here in Winchester will be Tuesday the 5th of December and Wednesday the 6th of December, as Cross Country, Great Western Rail and South Western Rail will all be striking on these days. I spoke to Keith Richmond of the ASLEF Union, who told me that the
rolling programme of one-day strikes and a 9-day overtime ban to ratchet up the pressure on the 16 train companies and the Tory government that stands behind them to give train drivers who have not had an increase in salary for 4.5 years the pay rise that they deserve.
The average salary for railway workers in 2022 was roughly around £45,000, according to the Office of National Statistics. However, with this pay, the union members still insist on better pay and better working conditions. Jamie O'Sullivan, Winchester News Online.
October saw the second highest level of borrowing on record in the same month. Taxes as well as borrowing are very much on the agenda going into tomorrow's autumn statement. It's expected that the Chancellor will announce the government's financial plans for next year, which will be a key part for our next general election. Our political editor, Harry Jewell, is in the studio to break it down.
Tomorrow, the Chancellor Jeremy Hunt will unveil the government's financial plans for the next year. Government borrowing has increased since the last budget. Just shy of £15 billion was borrowed last year, raising Britain's debt levels further. There is speculation that taxes will be cut, in part to win over blue wall voters who are fiscally conservative. In recent years, taxes have risen to their highest levels in decades. Borrowing was up by over £4 billion from the amount borrowed last year, and the second highest October figure ever. The autumn statement will be key to the government's election chances at the widely expected election next year.
There are many roadworks going around Winchester at the moment, including the closing of Garnier Road, the work being done on the North Walls, and it won't be long until we see another local site being developed, causing more disruption and traffic for the community. Morgan Mitchener-Banks explains.
Rundown, rusty and barren. This is a state that the Bushville camp has been left in since its last formal use in the 1970s. However, it may not be long until we see a new look for this old World War II army barracks, as last month a planning application was submitted to the Winchester City Council with the proposal of some major developments to the site. The application was submitted on the 27th of October. Outlined in it is the demolition of all existing structures and the intent to provide a phased employment-led mixed-use scheme in the form of a business park. It is also proposed that the development will include a hotel, restaurants, cafes and bars, and an area for leisure and sport uses. However, the plans have not gone down too well with the community. So far, there have been 85 objections to the application, with only 4 supporting statements having been published. There are a range of reasons for the objections, but one common theme is that a hospital should be built at the camp instead. The disapproval is so strong that the Badger Farm and Oliver's Battery Residents Community Association have started a campaign encouraging people to save Bushville Camp.
The Bushville Camp itself is an amazing site. It's on the Chalk Downland. It's right next to the South Downs National Park, and it's unique because it's got a mosaic landscape, which means it's crossed over from what was the old army campsite to now creating a unique ecosystem which has a variety of insects and plant life and wildlife.
The agents hope to get the application approved by February of next year, but with little support as of right now, any progression of the proposal seems to be up in the balance. Morgan Mitchener-Banks, Winchester News Online.
This month, the Royal Mail lost a 360-year monopoly over parcels sent from post office branches across the country. And at a time when we'll all be thinking of sending our Christmas cards and presents, options for consumers will now be broader. Alfred Morris is in the studio with more.
Thanks, Tom. Royal Mail have lost their exclusive access to parcel delivery from post office branches after massive disruptions last Christmas. The postal giant reported losses of up to £1 billion last financial year, and because of delays, Ofcom fined them £5.6 million for missing targets. It got so bad that only 74% of first-class mail arrived on time, massively missing the target of 93%. So, what's changed? Customers in some branches will now already have the option to choose between Royal Mail, DPD or Every to deliver their packages. This change is set to be eventually rolled out to all the branches. Post Office CEO Nick Reed said in a press release,
"This expanded partnership with DPD in Every shows how we are disrupting the mails market to offer greater choice for customers and more opportunities for postmasters as we build a post office fit for the future."
The change will potentially alleviate some of the strain on the employees of the Royal Mail after the pressure of last year.
Yeah, no, it was really hectic. What with the strikes and it being the Christmas period as well. At times, it was really busy. So hopefully with 2 other companies taking on the post office's parcels, it should be a bit easier at the warehouse.
So, with the clock ticking down to Yuletide, many hope that the variety of options at the post office will get the presents to their destinations on time. But the pressure is soon to be on. So, will gifts be falling down the chimney on Christmas Day, or will the children of Britain be unpacking coal from their stockings this year? Alfred Morris, Winchester News Online.
Winchester Cathedral played host to some famous faces last week as the university held their annual graduation ceremonies. Jack Sherlow was at the cathedral to see who this year's honorary doctorates were.
Winchester Cathedral. This iconic building has stood for just over 900 years. Although last week students at Winchester University had gathered at the cathedral to receive their diplomas, my focus was on the honorary doctorates. The degree is given as a way of honouring a distinguished visitor's contributions to a specific field or to society in general. The university's previous recipients were the likes of Judi Dench, Hugh Bonneville and Bruce Parker. This year there were 2 big names in the world of journalism joining Bruce Parker as alumni.
I think on the one hand it's great that anyone can get their journalism out there very quickly and it can get picked up quickly through social media, but I worry about getting paid properly. I worried about what's happened to real jobs, and I worry about especially journalists at the start of their careers being overworked. Lots of people say they want to be journalists, but actually those who stick it out and study it and go into it are the ones who really are going to make it. So.
And on the final day of this ceremony, graduates were joined by Alan Titchmarsh along with another familiar face.
Wow, it's amazing, it's wonderful. From such a prestigious and brilliant institution like Winchester and in these surroundings. What's not to like? No editor or boss is going to turn away someone who is brilliant and who is determined.
While it rained most of last week, the sun shone on Friday for the graduates of education.
I'm super thankful for such a lovely day, it's lovely weather, and it's just been a delight to see the end of my 3 years come together in a joyful celebration.
While graduation week comes to a close, hundreds of doors open to the new alumni at Winchester University. We wish them all the best. Jack Sherlow, Winchester News Online.
Now we all know a big yellow bear called Pudsey, but have you ever seen him green? Well, last Friday, hundreds of people around the country were raising money for children in need. And in Winchester, there was no difference. Superheroes flooded the high street, saving the world one fundraiser at a time. Alice Barn went to find out that not all heroes wear capes.
Here today on Winchester High Street, superheroes group up for children in need. Jacob Hotchkiss leads the lineup as they attempt to raise £500. What does an event like this mean to you?
So, Children in Need, Pudsey Bear. Gotta love this guy. So, Children in Need, basically for me, was the charity that helped me become who I am. And every year round, I dress up as superheroes or different characters, and Pudsey gets involved too.
How can other people get involved in this and what you're doing?
So today people can come and join me and my superheroes by either coming down from now until later. We have an online account where people can donate through my Facebook and come and have a good fun time.
So this charity, Children in Need, what does it mean to you specifically?
So the last 3 years, ever since I was very little, Children Need helped me to progress into a mature adult life.
Amazing.
And they've just done so much.
Hopefully these heroes can hit their target and help their community. I'm Alice Barnes for WINOL News.
You may have noticed that Winchester has been a lot brighter recently. That's because the Christmas lights are back on. Amelia Hopkinson dashed to the festivities to see what was in store for this year's light switch on.
3, 2, 1,
The most wonderful time of the year has kick-started once again in Winchester with the annual Christmas light switch on. The event took place on the Broadway just outside the Guildhall and was an evening of family festive fun.
I've done this for several years now. I've always been asked back for some reason, which I'm very grateful for. But each year they just manage to top it. I don't know how they do it, because each year I think, oh, I can't get better than that, but he does.
Crowds quickly gathered to watch live performances from Hairstock Primary School Choir, Winchester Rock Choir, Winchester A Cappella and Integrate Dance, as well as many more.
It's amazing. This is such a big event for Winchester. It brings together the whole community. That's what it's all about, really. And one of the best bits is being able to nominate a local hero to turn on the lights each year. So that's great fun.
This year's local hero was Winchester Hospice, who provides specialist palliative and end-of-life care to adults with life-limiting illnesses. Every year it's the people of Winchester who nominate and vote for those who they believe deserve to be recognised as a local hero. As well as musical performances, there was also a giant inflatable snow globe and Santa's sleigh for children to enjoy. All proceeds from the sleigh and the globe is going directly to the Winchester Beacon and Trinity Winchester, which is Winchester Bid's charity scheme that aims to help reduce begging and rough sleeping throughout the city.
So now that Winchester has officially been lit up for another year, it's time to have yourselves a merry little Christmas. Amelia Hopkinson, Winchester News Online.
Well, doesn't that get you in the Christmas spirit? That's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.